Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I got home from school and I saw my tripod in my closet and I literally shed a tear. Like, I was actually so emotional about it. I really have missed filming. I'm really struggling with this. I don't really know why. It's gonna be a very different video than I usually would film. I love makeup. I'm always gonna do makeup on this channel, but this is a video that I've wanted to film before I even started filming. So for like 3 years now, I've always wanted to film a video like this. Like, kind of what I learned this year. 2018 was the most difficult year for me. I'm really hoping I don't get emotional in this, but it was really a trying year for me at school, and so many things changed and a lot of unexpected things happened. And so I learned a lot of things this year that I think is important to share. When you learn something worthwhile, I think that that's important to share. I have 27 things. I was like, okay, I could do 25 or 30. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna come up with 3 more things just to come up with 3 more. And I'm not gonna get rid of 2 things that I truly learned this year that I think could be beneficial to others. So I have 27 things. Before I start this video, I want to say, I'm literally shaking, like, I need to chill. Know that there is good in absolutely everything. Don't consider, don't remember, don't think, know that there is literally good in absolutely everything if you're willing to look for it. Okay, and so with that, I'm gonna start. My first tip, and something that I constantly remind myself, is cope. And for me, this is difficult, and some people this isn't difficult at all, but I tend to have issues or problems arise and I push them back. I don't deal with them. And not dealing with something always manifests the actual problem and makes it a lot worse. So my first tip is cope. Deal with the problems. Okay, the second one is cling to the promises. And this is another one that is so big and I'll forever learn. And sometimes I write it right here on my arm or on my hand, and it really does help. I will list in the down bar a list of promises that the Lord gives you in the Bible. Remember them, because His promises are so much greater than the promises of your friends, your parents, your roommates. Cling to His promises, because the world will tell you you're not worth it, you're not worthy, you're not beautiful. His promises are that I'm worthy, and that I'm worth it, and that I'm beautiful. And there's so many more. And so when you begin to cling to His promises, honestly, your problems kind of diminish. And He promises to carry my burden for me. So clinging to that promise already relieves a lot of your problems, because you can leave them with Him. Number 3, be thankful for the no's in life. I hate this one. I always want to hear yes. I always want to go and do things, but be thankful for closed doors. Number 4 is kind of specific to myself, but I would recommend it, and that is read and write. Getting things out on paper, oh my goodness, that is just something to me that helps so much. You don't have to go tell someone and be awkward and uncomfortable. It's literally like telling yourself. And honestly, that's kind of another one in itself, but telling others is so difficult too, because you're vulnerable and people aren't gonna feel the way that you feel. I went through something this year that was just the only word that I can think of to describe it is traumatic. I would go to the bookstore and read poems of someone who went through a similar situation for me and describe the way that I felt. And a lot of people would tell me, like, hey, don't do that. You're not helping yourself. You're not filling yourself with good things. And I understand that, but actually reading how someone else feels and watching them put it into words helped me not only relate to that, but put my own feelings into words. And sometimes that's the most difficult part of life, is not knowing how to explain how you feel. And so that was something that really helped me. And honestly, in general, reading is a good thing. Okay, so number 5, I love this tip, you guys. I've been saying this for years, and I hope I'm saying it for the rest of my life. Date yourself. This is so freaking important. Go get coffee, go get an acai bowl, go to the bookstore, Just go alone and feel and think and talk about those things that you're avoiding. See something new, you try something new, and you kind of learn about yourself. Like, I didn't know I liked that before. That's something new. Or you see a weakness, a strength. You literally will learn about yourself. I know it sounds dumb, but think about it. Loving yourself is so important, because how do you expect someone else to love you if you're not showing them what you know about yourself that's lovable? People tend to go from relationship to relationship to relationship because they're hoping someone else will find something to love. Find a lot to love about you, so that when things hurt and people hurt, you don't have to blame yourself every time. You know where you stand. But that's also know your weaknesses, know the spots that you're bad at, know the things that you need to work on. And by dating yourself, you can work on those things. And there's no one there to judge you or to be like weirded out by your tear. Like, just be with yourself. It's so important. I saw someone on Twitter, this was years ago, and I think about it all the time, and they tweeted something like, everything is fine, or I'm totally okay until I'm alone. And I remember seeing that and being like, that's terrifying. Like, that's terrifying. You need to get comfortable with you, with yourself, with being alone. And honestly, do it enough times, you'll get excited to to be alone and to date yourself. You really will. So that's one of my favorite tips. Also, whether you're in a relationship or married, I still think that that's a great tip. Number 6 is you don't need to know everything right now. This one is for those of you who I can now relate to that struggle with anxiety. No, you don't need to know everything right now, and it's honestly better that you don't. Number 7, things that are worth it are never easy. If you're progressing, if you keep hitting the same bump in the road and things aren't getting better, whether it's your major, your job, friends, maybe it's time to reconsider if that's really, really what's right for you. But I really like that one. Things that are worth it are never easy. Don't give up. Okay, number 8 is kind of specific to me again. Mine is go to yoga. I started going to yoga probably about a year ago, and it kind of goes into the date yourself thing, but I love going to yoga. Like, find a yoga class or anything that you really find that you can just like release your tension in. Number 9 is one of my favorites. People are gonna watch this and think I'm so dramatic. Please listen to number 9, okay? I'm gonna take a sip of water before I go into number 9. Okay, I came up with this one by myself, and this is how I came up with it. When people tell you you're cute, or like, oh my god, you're so pretty, like whatever, what is your reaction? Like, girls at least, like, you're like, oh my gosh, like, you're so nice, like, thank you so much. That's a great response, that's totally fine. Number 9, I was beautiful before you told me. Please take that away from this video. Know that before someone tells you you're cute, you're stunning, you're beautiful, know that you are. And I'm not saying be cocky, but like, don't let what someone tells you define you. You're beautiful before someone told you. Number 10 is a lot. Another me specific one, get a stuffed animal. This is a shark. This thing absorbs your tears, and also like, if you struggle with depression, anxiety, or just like life, as weird as it sounds, like having something to hold makes you not feel so alone. That's kind of a dark thought, but like, if you struggle with that, get a stuffed animal. I like him because he's flat right here, but he's fluffy over here. So he's literally like the perfect like chest size, especially because my chest is flat, so like the flat and the flat. And I love him. If I roll over in my sleep and I don't have him, like I need him. So get a stuffed animal. I literally just saw the end of my cord for my phone because I film on my phone, and I literally had like a minor panic attack because I thought my phone died. But I think we're all good now. So my number 11 tip, be intimidating, and if you don't know like how do I be intimidating, act all the time, especially when you're in uncomfortable areas or like large crowds or new places, or you're alone at night and it's dark, like things like that. act like you know exactly what you're doing. Totally put that face on and like put your shoulders back and walk like you know exactly what you're doing, even if you don't, because people are not gonna mess most of the time with someone who knows what they're doing. If you're like on your phone and you're awkward and you're just like slouched or hunched over and kind of like looking around, like you look like a target. So that's another one. Number 12 tip is very similar to number 2, which was cling to his promises. And that is, if your burdens are heavy, stop carrying them. Someone else will carry them for you. You don't have to carry them. Also, everything that you do and everything that you allow is a choice. I'm not saying everything that happens to you is a choice, but how you cope, how you deal, how you handle, your attitude is your choice. If your burdens are heavy, stop carrying them. 13, I love number 13. Number 13 makes me happy. Say yes to opportunity. I would rather regret taking a bad opportunity than never taking an opportunity. If that makes sense. Say yes to opportunity. Say yes to new foods. Say yes to new places. Say yes to new friendships. Just say yes, because you can always close doors. You can't always open closed doors. I think I just added another one. 14 is similar to the opportunity one, and it is just because you can have it doesn't mean you should have it. I think I'm just gonna leave that one there. You apply that to your life as it's necessary. But yeah, I think number 14 is a good one. Just because you can have it doesn't mean you should have it. 15 is a quote that I say all the freaking time. There was a guy at my school, but this kid was a very soft-spoken person, but would just drop quotes that you would be like, what the heck, like, what was that? And one of the ones that he said, this was over a year ago, and I think about this all the time, is he said, understand that sometimes you just don't understand. And like, I feel like when I heard that, and when I remind myself of that, I can breathe. Like, understand that sometimes you just don't understand. I think people, when they hear about your hurt or your pain or your struggles, they're immediately like, oh yeah, one time or like, yeah, I totally get you. That never helps anyone, to be honest. Like, understand that sometimes someone's situation, you've never been through that. Understand, I don't understand your situation. It doesn't mean I don't respect your situation or I don't care about your situation, but sometimes you will breathe and live and sleep better understanding that, you know what, I don't understand. 16, I keep saying that with all of these. There's another one of those ones that like when I hear it, I'm just like, I'm okay. Stop explaining yourself. Literally, that's it. Like, stop explaining yourself. Stop feeling like you need to explain yourself. Stop saying like, hey, I made this decision, and then immediately having to say like, because of blah, blah, blah. You don't need to explain yourself. Make the choices you want to make. Do the things you want to do. This isn't like a go do drugs kind of deal, but like, you know what I'm saying. And stop explaining yourself. Because when you state something, I changed my major to this, I'm going here, it has so much more like drama and impact, and people listen to that. Whereas like when you're saying like, I'm gonna go to college here because of this, and people are like, okay, she's insecure about her decision. Make your decision, state your decision, stop explaining yourself. 17 is also similar to that. I like number 17 a lot. You can change your mind. Like, that's it. I'm gonna leave that one there. You don't have to act all the time like you have it all together. You can change your mind. Number 18 is a little bit serious. Number 18 is one of the worst things that I think you can be is closed-minded. Always be open-minded and open to hearing about new ideas, ideas completely opposite to yours. Be open-minded. You will learn so much more. Closed-mindedness leads to so many other issues. Selfishness, stubbornness, and entitlement is so ugly, you guys. Entitlement is so ugly. Be open-minded. That doesn't mean be open-minded and always change your mind and be like, okay, yeah, I think that too. But like, listen to new ideas. Honestly, not only will you learn a lot from other points of view or people's stories or like lives that are completely different than yours and like why they see things the way they do, but you'll also a lot of times be able to strengthen your own argument by being open-minded. Number 19 is my favorite. And I think that number 19 has been my theme for this year. I'm not saying I always did it, but it has been something that I constantly go back to. And that's love them anyway. It's so hard. But to see people's differences, sins, struggles, weaknesses, the way they hurt you, love them anyway. It's another one of those, you'll sleep better. You'll feel better. Your love will be stronger than their weaknesses and struggles. 20 is something I most definitely learned this year the hard way, and that's you can't fix anyone. Kind of goes back to 18, just love them anyway. You can't fix people. I look for like the weakest link and I like attach and try and fix them. Don't do that, you'll get hurt. Number 21, I love number 21. Number 21 is, I don't know, is a great answer. I just have a lot of respect for when you ask someone who has a lot of knowledge and wisdom, like professors or pastors or anyone that you look at as wise, and sometimes they say, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Because coming up with an answer just to seem like you always have the answer leads to the wrong answer a lot. And I really don't know why, but I have a lot of respect for people that can say, I don't know. I don't know everything, and I don't know the answer to that. Number 22 is very like self-explanatory. It is, hard seasons are hard, but they're only seasons. It gets better. Number 23 is get ready, you'll do better. Honestly, if you're a girl, me and my roommate this year found out that wearing heels, we do better. Like literally, like because you feel more like professional and like cute, you'll just do better. Like when you feel gross, you like don't apply yourself as much. So like get up before your 8 a.m. exam, do your makeup, and like I don't know, try it. It really, it's like a psychological fact that like actually helps you do better. Number 24 is another one that just like, it feels like you just drank a cup of tea. Like it's just warm and cozy. I like number 24 a lot. Home is not a location, it's a state of mind. Home is not your boyfriend. Home is not your best friend. Home is not the house you grew up in. Home is when you feel okay with yourself, when you start to really like yourself. You can be at home across the world, and you can be at home and so far from home. It's not a location, it's a state of mind. 25 is another one that I most definitely learned this year. Speak life. It sounds kind of dumb, but hear me out. When you say things like, I'm depressed and anxious, I have depression and anxiety, you literally put yourself in a box that I am depression and anxiety. You're not. You may have these things for 45 years. You are not these things. And so I told my great friend on here, Maggie, I love Maggie so much. She sent me like a paragraph that she was gonna post. And the first sentence said, I am lost. And she sent it to me and she asked me if I could edit it. It was beautiful. Her paragraph was absolutely beautiful. But I tried to explain to her, I said, you're not lost. You feel lost. Don't give Satan that much credit that he's won. Don't make it seem that he's won. I'm lost. Oh, that means you're on his side, because when you're with the Lord, you're found. I feel lost. I am dealing with some depression, but I'm not lost, and I'm not depression. When you say things like, oh my God, like I'm so ugly, or like, even when you're joking. Another quote that says, there's a little truth in every joke. And it's honestly true. And so I'm not saying that like every time someone is like, oh yeah, I look fat, that I'm gonna be like, speak life, but like work on not being so vocally negative. Speak things into existence that are positive, that are renewal, that will build you and others up. Over time, you won't feel ugly and lost and depressed. You'll feel like, I have these things, I'm dealing with these things, I'm thinking these things, but I know that there's more. I know that there's better. It goes back to cling to the promises. I may have depression and anxiety, but I am worthy. I have peace. I am strong. These things which are factual, not feelings. Number 26 relates to a lot of these. Love yourself so much that if someone else never does, you're still just as loved. I'm just gonna say that one again. Love yourself so much that if no one else ever does, you are still just as loved. My last one, I could have thrown a lot of shade in this video, but I didn't. And I'm not saying this one to throw shade. It throws shade. It's also a great thing to live by. Some people are actually not worth it. Some people are out to hurt you or out to use you to benefit themselves. And you can try and try again. Love them anyway, but some people are not worth what they think they deserve. Some people are not worth it. Okay, those were the 27 things that I learned this year. If you remember, in the very beginning of this video, I literally was shaking out, nervous about this video. And just reading some of these things that I have said, like, wow, that makes me breathe, that gives me peace, has actually, like, I'm happy now. Like, I'm fine. I could go run a marathon, you know? And so I love this list. I hope that you can find, even if it's just one or two things in this list that you're like, wow, I needed that, or like, I want to learn that, I want to work on that. And write them down. I had quotes that I would, or like verses that I would write on index cards, and I would literally stick it to like my mirror so that in the morning when I would get ready, I would see that first thing. Put them where you know you're going to see them. Make them the background on your phone. The next video will be back to makeup, but let me know how you guys feel about videos similar to this. I can talk. I really can talk a lot. So if you want to see more of that, let me know. And I'm very excited to be back at home. I'm going to be home for a while. I can film more, and filming de-stresses me. So we'll see you guys very soon in my next tutorial.